Stand by. The program will begin soon. I don't know why I'm talking about this. During World War II, we sent 90 million pounds of spam just to the Russians alone. I mean, we sent it all over the world. Our troops, especially in the Pacific Theater, ate it. That was basically what they ate all the time. 90 million pounds to the Russians. Apparently in like the 50s, Nikita Khrushchev said, you know, if they hadn't sent us all this spam, they might not have been able to feed their troops during World War II. So a little weird canned kind of ham pork product, canned meat, may have won World War II. And the Fed is trending on X. And I wasn't sure why, and I'm still not 100% sure why, although part of it is because of this building that they're renovating. They're supposed to be renovating one of the buildings at the Fed, right? And the other day, Donald Trump came out there with Jerome Powell, and they're talking about how the renovation of the building was kind of a little bit over budget, okay? First of all, the numbers on this are crazy. They wanted $2.something billion to renovate a building at the Fed. $2.1 billion. Well, this is $2.5 billion. But they're over budget by over $1 billion for one building. They're over budget over $1 billion for one building. $1 billion friggin' dollars for one building. This isn't even for building a new building. It's for renovating a building. What the actual F are they doing? If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, or I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was fun. Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They could send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what it means. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning on the right. Is there anybody in this that anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in the church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 of the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see where that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. It is unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. Constant, unavoidable. So, that's one really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. Now, this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. You know, especially the religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to the New York Police Department data. Anti-Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 recorded hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terrorist supporter, has proposed that New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Right? My show. If I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Shall we do this thing? Well, of course we should, because that's why I'm here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where we already have a sponsor this morning. That's a good start. And a lot of you are here. That's an even better start. And I'm happy to see you. Are you happy to see me? Well, I hope so. So let's get it going. Let's get it on. Well, let's just talk about the first donation, because there's a link with it too, and I have no idea what it is. So thank you, Advocatus Diabli, for dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's $2.23. Yes, a $2.23, not aimed at my head. So here we go. Who says, and people think I, okay, and good God, I can't even talk. It says, and people think I come up with some crazy shit. Well, let's find out what this is. We're going to just hijack the show right off the bat, even though it's not a Hamilton. It's, AD is a bit prolific supporter of the show. So let's just start with this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, well, this is where we're going to go. Before I even say hi to y'all, this is where we're going. Just here we go. Not going to talk about this amazing young lady and whatnot. We're going to talk about this. NHS surgeon jailed for fraud over amputation of own legs for sexual gratification. Oh my God. Okay, let's read it. Let's read it. Thank you, Advocatus Diabli, for this one. Okay. Neil Hopper, 40. Okay, here to start at the beginning. A surgeon who for sexual gratification deliberately froze his own legs, leading them to be amputated, and he has been jailed for that. Oh, and there's a warning on this article, so I'm going to warn you, but the warning in the article. Warning, this article contains details that some readers and listeners may find distressing. I'm distressed already, and I haven't even read the damn article yet. Neil Hopper of St. M. Truro, Cornwall, fraudulently claimed hundreds of thousands of pounds, saying injuries are caused by sepsis. Wait a minute. That's the most important part of this, that he claimed hundreds of thousands of pounds because he did this. That's the worst part of this. The 49-year-old NHS, National Health Services, for those not from the other side of the pond, vascular surgeon received total payouts of around £466,000, which is, I don't know what that is converted wise, after making claims to two insurance companies. Oh, two insurance companies. Truro Crown Court heard Hopper used dry ice to freeze his legs to the extent they were no longer viable, requiring amputation, which had long been an ambition of his and one he had a sexual interest in. After receiving the compensation, Hopper spent the money on luxury, like what, like prosthesis? The prosecutor, Nicholas Lee, said he used £255,000 for building works at his home. Is that renovations? Is that like England for renovation? Had a 15,000 pound hot tub put in. Well, he might as well have a hot tub because he can't walk. He might as well just relax in the tub. And spent £6,000 with a wood burner company. What is a wood burner? Anyone know what a wood burner company is? I have no idea what that means. Anyone from across the pond? Hopper also bought 22,000 pound camper van. Well, that doesn't seem very expensive. Well, maybe if it's, oh man, I don't know that. Anyway, 13,000 pounds on prosthetics. Well, he kind of needed those and gave 52,000 pounds to his wife. He pleaded guilty to 2 charges of fraud by false representation and 3 charges of possessing extreme pornographic images related to videos by a website called the Eunuch Maker, run by Marius Gustafson, which depicted genital mutilation. Oh my God. What is this? What is this? Oh, a furnace system. Thank you, Mike Savage. That's what what was I asking about? A wood burner company. Okay, so some kind of wood burning stove or heating system in his home. Well, if the home's cold, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, Judge James Adkin, the honorary recorder of Truro, jailed Hopper for 22 months for the fraud charges and a further 10 months for the extreme image charges. What about the using dry ice to have your own legs amputated? I mean, look, he actually did. They did have to amputate his legs. Hopper has not worked at the Royal Cornwall Hospital's NHS Trust since March 2023 and has been under an interim suspension from the medical register since December 2023. Mr. Adkins said that in April 2019, Hopper deliberately froze his lower legs, causing direct damage using dry ice following the instructions given by Mr. Gustafson. He used to do amputations himself too? Oh, good God. Quote, you were admitted to hospital when you have the symptoms of sepsis, well knowing that the medics will be looking out, he said. The judge said that after 6 weeks, the medics decided his feet could not be saved, and they amputated in May of that year. Quote, you subsequently made fraudulent insurance claims to Aviva and Old Mutual Wealth, receiving a total of 466,000 pounds fraudulently by representing that the injuries were organic, caused by sepsis, when you caused the injury seemingly, at least in part, for sexual gratification. What is sexually gratifying by having your own legs amputated? I don't understand this. Is this the cue? Is this the cue? You know what I'm asking, right? Is it the cue in the letter alphabet mafia? Is this the cue? And do the rest of the alphabet accept this as part of the cue? Oh my goodness. Hopper was identified following investigations into Gustafson, who led an extreme body modification ring which carried out male castration, penis removal, and other procedures on people as young as 16. Oh no! Have they arrested him yet? The surgeon also exchanged thousands of messages with Gustafson about his own lower leg amputations and how he had done it, including asking how much dry ice he used. How much dry ice do you use to get your own legs amputated? That's a legit question. How much do you need? Or could you use liquid nitrogen or something like that? I don't know. Oh my God. Oh, it is evident from the message that Mr. Hopper wished to become an amputee, and it was always something he had dreamt of. Well, isn't that, what do you call it? Disability affirming care? I mean, come on. They don't pay for that in jolly old England? Disability affirming care, because that's, I mean, what's different about that than gender affirming care amputations and prosthetics and all that other shit? Do you understand? Well, I know most of you already understand my issues with gender affirming care. It's actually gender denying care. It's reality denying care, and most of it's permanent. Can't grow those legs back, can't grow those feet back, can't grow anything back on the children that you've done this to. You can't reverse the growth stunning effects of the medicalization you've done to kids that don't really know what a future really is, don't know a future beyond next week's soccer game. So this is the cue. Is it legit part of the queue? Queue getting different non-conforming behaviors. It is evident from the message that Mr. Hopper wished to become an amputee, and it was always something he dreamt of. Mr. Lee said. Defense lawyer Andrew Langdon said his client had grown up in a rural village in Wales and felt he was in the wrong body from a young age. Oh, that's familiar rhetoric, isn't it? He said Hopper identified with body integrity identity disorder and those with a desire to amputate one or more healthy limbs. This is body integrity identity affirming care. Why wouldn't they pay out for that? The Royal Cornwall Hospital's trust said Hopper's colleagues had received support and counseling. While the details of the charges are shocking, it's important to stress that the convictions do not relate to Mr. Hopper's professional conduct, a spokesperson said. I think that that would disqualify. Look, I want to make sure if I have any, like if I have to go to an orthopedic surgeon or anything like that, I want to make sure that they're not someone who's willing to get their own legs amputated before I make a decision on what they do with me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Holy moly. They added that comprehensive clinical reviews of surgery carried out by Hopper had been carried out, including by an independent clinical expert who reviewed decisions to operate. Gustafson, who netted more than 300,000 pounds from 2017 to 2021, from his unit maker website, was jailed for life with a minimum term of 22 years in prison at the Old Bailey last year. So he was put in prison. Good. That dude needs to be gone. And for a long time, and maybe forever, just stay in the prison. Don't even bother coming out because you're okay. All right. That's gun fog. That was gun fog. I said gun fog. Avocatus Diabli. Thank you for your research. Whew. Okay, let's say hi to everybody, because and if you're just getting here, make sure you rewind about 10 minutes of this show at some point during the day. You'll want to hear the story I just read. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's get the show started. Let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. First in the chat today is not who you think it is. No, it is Mike Savage Blarg. Good morning, sir, and welcome. Also, good morning to Kara Soldier. What's up, Miss Wild Wolf? What up, Kara? Avocatus Diabli is here, and we well know. Is anybody regretting that? Oh, Lord. Also, Resolute Germ, what's up? K-Shell, what up, Kirsten? Good morning. Dom O'Leary's in the house. Attack Alpaca. Blue-Eyed Scream is here. Also, the Pope. Yes, the Pope is here with an inspirational message, and I'm talking about Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, who says, blessings of the divine dead. Each day we see it is a gift from our Creator. Every good day, every bad day, those days shape us a bit more towards his purpose. Thank you, Blue-Eyed Scream. I'm mixing up. That story has me disturbed. That was the next name on the list. No, thank you, Pope Tyrannus III. Appreciate it. Also, I skipped your palate cleanser on Friday. Oh no, did I? Okay, let me see if I can fix it. Thank you, Carousel, for dropping a deuce in the tip jar via YouTube Super Chats. You skipped my palate cleanser on Friday. Okay, I'll try to remember that today. I have to find it though. In fact, see, guess what? It's in my links. Let's see, palette cleanser, Friday. This was Friday. Was it the, okay. We'll open that in the end here. Oh, wait, that's not where I wanted. Let's put it all the way over here. Let's make sure we try to get to that today. And it's only a minute 48 long. I wonder if I'll get in trouble for that. Oh, I don't care. Who cares? I don't care. Also, good morning to Midnight. What's up, Midnight? Class is in session. And is that Richard Head. Good morning, Dick. How you doing? And is that everybody? Could be Green Badger Outdoors, Midnight in Exile. Amazing Disgrace is back again. Welcome back. Anon 1, 2, 3. And let's see. That looks like about everybody. Well, there's more than that here, but some of you are shy and aren't in the chat yet. But here's the other thing you're shy about is hitting that like button. So if you decide at some point during the show that you like what you see, hit the like button, share the stream, do all that other crap. I'm getting rid of the link, even though a lot of you already hit it. Also, thanks to the people who have share the show already, and that includes there's more. Well, let's start with Resolute Germ with the Daily Wrestler. Let's go with, I don't know who that wrestler is, but he looks like he's pretending to be a televangelist. I don't know, with some, or it looks like he's at the Charlie Kirk Memorial with the fireworks and stuff going on in the background. Someone named that wrestler. I don't know. Ric Flair, woo, from Tyler Alexander. Thank you. Woo. Let me repost that. And thank you to Mike Savage, the Daily Let Us Go, as opposed to Iceberg or Romaine. Also, thank you, Ms. Wild Wolf, tweeting out the show. I'm reposting you there. CG with the little office thing there when they were that was funny, that show. I liked that show. Good show. And also the Daily Rabbit from Ms. Wild Wolf. Daily Cute Animal, not necessarily Daily Rabbit, because sometimes it's a bunny, sometimes it's a kitty, and sometimes it's a little puppy. But today it's the cute little bunny. Let's get it hopping. And then, oh no, dog wiping his hind part on the carpet. I hated when my dog used to do that. And that was just because they had a butt itch, not so much they were wiping, but the results are the same. And then all the people retweeting the show, Mr. X, Amazing Disgrace, Ms. Wild Wolf, CG, Tyre Alexander, Resolute Germ, and Ms. K. Shull, aka Kirsten Shull. Oh, and here's another one. Green Badge Outdoor, the Let's Go. They're firing off some shit there. That's going off to somewhere. All right, thanks everybody for doing that. I appreciate it. The Office makes me laugh out loud every time, every time. Yeah, it's just a funny there's so many quirky, funny things in it. And also, like, not only that, I like the original Office from the Brits put out too. I like both of those shows. A little bit different, but another very good show. So, all right, let's see. What is this? Oh, we've read this story. If you weren't here at the beginning of the show, I'm just telling you, you got to come back for this one. The surgeon jailed for fraud for amputation of his own legs for sexual gratification. It's a doozy. And we went through it a little bit ago. So I'm not going through it again because I'm trying to keep my breakfast down. Okay, let's see. Let's get rid of that. The holiday today. Well, it's not necessarily a holiday. It's just an event that happens every year. Today's the first day of fall, people. Aw, let's enjoy it as the first day of fall. Lots of people celebrating. The autumnal equinox will occur at 1:19 p.m. today. Happy first day of fall. Now, it depends what time zone you're in. Unless it's 1:19 everywhere, and you just got to wait until 1:19. But anyway, good morning and happy first day of fall. Lots of people throwing out some pumpkins and little autumn things, but goodbye summer, hello fall. That's a meme right there. We got, that's disturbing. Anyway, so there you go. Happy first day of fall. What else is going on? Oh, I had and then there's another happy fall trending topics. Oh, isn't that cute? Doggy jumping in the leaves and disappearing. Anyway, also other holidays today. It's National Ice Cream Cone Day. Oh yeah, baby. Everyone loves a good ice cream cone. unless you're dead inside. I'm just saying. Also, good morning, it's also National Singles Day. Well, I guess I'm failing that. National White Chocolate Day. So, what's the dude they used to call white chocolate? Jason Williams. They used to call him white chocolate. If you know who Jason Williams is, raise your hand. World Rhino Day, save the rhinos. National Girls Night In Day, as opposed to Girls Night Out Day, because it's just too dangerous to go out sometimes. Hello, Selected Boy, welcome.
Yeah, boy.
American Business Women's Day. Okay, great. Falls Prevention Awareness Day. Now, this is important. If you have elderly relatives, neighbors, or whatever, take a stand against falls and injuries. Like, because there are people out there rooting for falls and injuries, but you need to take a stand against that. But if people can do some adaptations to their home and help prevent falls, use different kinds of equipment, take care of your elderly. National Elephant Appreciation Day, not just the rhinos, but also the elephants. That's a weird picture to put for National Elephant Appreciation Day. And whose nation is doing this? Like, why do we have a National Elephant Appreciation Day? The elephants aren't native to this. Anyway, whatever. National Legwear Day, put on some socks. World Car Free Day. Oh, God, are the cyclists going to be out today? Oh, God, I'm not leaving my house. September Equinox, that's fall, of course. National Centenarians Day. If you know someone over 100 or older, why don't we just celebrate their birthday when they do that? I don't understand why you have a day specifically for centenarians. But, hey, happy to all you 100-year-old people and more. Car Free Sunday, again, that's the same thing. It was World Car Free Day. Look out for bikers. Chainmail, this is a big list. Chainmail Day, International Day of Radiant Peace, whatever that means, and then National Dante Day. If you know anyone named Dante, try to keep them away from fires. Okay, moving on. And if you got that joke, you can raise your hand for that too. Happy birthday to Scott Baio. Scott Baio, it's Chachi. That's the celebrity birthday. Oops, that's a mistake. That's the celebrity birthday today of Chachi. And the first post on this is they photoshopped his face onto Ghislaine Maxwell. It says, "Happy birthday, Scott Baio. Congratulations on landing your first gig in a decade where you don't have to make anyone else a sandwich." Scott Baio is thrilled to learn that after years of unemployment, he's been cast as Ghislaine Maxwell in the upcoming Netflix series. Yeah, that's not true. And I mean, it's even though it's against someone I agree with politically, it is kind of funny. Anyway, actor Scott Baio celebrates his birthday today. In the 80s, Baio was best known for his role as Chachi Arcola on Happy Days. Joni loves Chachi and also Charles in Charge, because he wasn't Chachi in Charles in Charge, was he? He was just, that's just his name. It wasn't Chachi, was it? He wasn't. He didn't keep the character Chachi in Charles in Charge, did he? I don't think so. I know Joni loved Chachi in Happy Days, but not in Charles in Charge. I guess I never watched that show, so I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was a family man named Charles in that movie, in that TV show. Anyway, thank you, Kara Soldier, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. By the way, Avocado Stably, you're the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. But yeah, Kara Soldier dropping a deuce also, saying, now it's the proper time for the basic bitches to come out and swarm Starbucks for their overly sweet pumpkin spice lattes. Oh, you know it. The Uggs and fur sweaters. Dear God. Yeah, it's pumpkin spice time. Yeah, that's what the holiday should be. National Pumpkin Spice Appreciation Day. First day of fall. Lord Stanhope, welcome. I see you there. And did anyone else pop in? I don't know. Anyone else new in the chat? I don't see you. All right. Moving down the list. So let's get into some news. There was an earthquake in the Berkeley area near San Francisco. A 4.3 magnitude earthquake hit a 1 mile southeast of Berkeley, California at a shallow depth of 6 miles along the Hayward Fault just before 3 a.m. on Monday. And it's funny because people are talking about this, but all I see are memes for earthquakes. people putting jokes about it. This one saying, Bay Area Twitter users coming to see if anyone else felt the earthquake. They're all jumping down the escalator. Scared the shit out of me. Don't try me, Earth. Not in the mood. That's funny. So anyway, a bunch of people laughing about it. But yeah, the 4.8 earthquake just south of Berkeley campus a minute ago felt like a single burst shotgun blast. Strongest shake I've felt in a long time. As to say something about your sexual prowess. But anyway, yeah, we're hosting earthquake. We're hosting the Earthquake Networking event at Berkeley, accepting first 10 people. Like in the comments, you see Berkeley Earthquake Party. Oh my God. Well, it obviously didn't cause too much damage nor consternation. So I guess that's, but you know, because earthquakes, California, it's kind of goes hand in hand. Moving on. Also in the news, Tylenol's in the news. Apparently there's going to be some big hoop-de-doo about Tylenol today, claiming that there may be a relationship between Tylenol and autism. But I don't know if that's going to be it. I mean, so people are already bitching about it. Someone says, if you think Tylenol is responsible for autism in any way, you're an imbecile just like Trump, and I've got some crypto to sell you. Well, Rob, I don't know. And I don't know what the study says. I don't know what they're going to say. You know, there's a correlation. We don't know if it's a correlation versus causation. There's a correlation between the rise in Tylenol and increasing autism rates, but there's also correlation between several things. So who knows what they're going to say? Someone here says, child psychiatrist here. There's no credible link between Tylenol and autism. Tomorrow there will be another push to link Tylenol use to autism based upon correlational confounded data that will be inferior to the best studies we currently have. And again, everyone's jumping to the conclusion that that's what they're going to say. Is that what they're going to say for sure? Who knows? Dr. Vin Gupta, ahead of tomorrow's big medical breakthrough announcement tomorrow on Tylenol use during pregnancy causing autism. It's not true. Another example of this admin cherry-picking data from years ago, ignoring the best research and then claiming they are white knights. Okay, so everyone who's critical of what nobody's said yet, we don't know what causes autism. We'll find out someday in the far future. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the actual announcement is today. It's all annoying to me, these people. Other news, a gunman shouting "Free Palestine" opened fire at a New Hampshire country club. A Nassau Country Club in New Hampshire, where a wedding was taking place, turned into a war zone when a gunman opened fire declaring "Free Palestine." One man was reportedly dead, and a number of others were wounded in the attack that took place in the restaurant at Sky Meadow Country Club. There was a wedding at the country club at the time, and the couple did not appear to be Jewish. Well, how do you appear to be Jewish? Is it because no one was lifting people in chairs? I don't know, but maybe they have other reports, but there's no apparent reason why it would be the target of a terrorist attack, but that was what happened. When the Intifada gets globalized, the attack could have been worse, but one of the men on the scene smashed a chair over the shooter's head. Did you hear that, Resolute Germ? They hit him with a chair. That's a wrestling move. Hello, Renee Mayette. Nashua. Okay, I always get these different spellings of different things wrong. It's Nashua, New Hampshire. Okay, thank you. But now what's interesting, though, is that happened, right? But another article I saw, media was hiding the fact that the Nashua, New Hampshire shooter shouted "Free Palestine." So a horrific tragedy struck Nashua, New Hampshire Saturday night when a masked gunman stormed into a wedding reception at the Sky Meadow Country Club, opened fire, killed a guest. Witnesses say the shooter shouted political slogans, including "Free Palestine," before pulling the trigger. Yet some of the nation's leading outlets are conspicuously omitting that detail. According to New York, okay, so here's the New York Post. They said A crazed gunman shouted "Free Palestine" before he opened fire at a Nashua, New Hampshire wedding reception. Okay, so they said it. Police later identified the 23-year-old Hunter Nadeau, who had been charged with murder. The victim was a 59-year-old Robert Stephen Desare, I don't know. Now, the Associated Press via Fox News confirmed the same account from an eyewitness. The shooter killed a man and wounded 2 other adults during a wedding at New Hampshire Country Club on Saturday. He yelled "Free Palestine" as the chaos unfolded. A witness told the Associated Press. Now, Tom Bartleson, uncle of the groom, described the mayhem, getting together for a dance for the bride and groom, and then all chaos went off. We heard about 6 shots and everybody ducked for cover. The next thing you know, we're rushed into safe spots and things like that. So here is, and then there's another, the local report said something about Free Palestine. Here's the local report.
You get the sense that they knew who.
Didn't hear anything. He just came out and said.
What he said.
Yeah, what he said was the children are safe and, free Palestine.
What was that moment like when you heard the gunshots?
At first, I didn't realize it was gunshots.
Okay, so they announced the Free Palestine there part, right? So that initial reporting matches an eyewitness interview captured immediately after the attack. The witness recalled the shooter's words and chaos that followed. So that's the witness they just had. Local police quickly confirmed the attack involved only one shooter. Okay, that's good. There's just tweets by the police partners. And despite eyewitnesses confirming the shooter shouted "Free Palestine," NBC News never mentioned it. As National Reviewer Charles Cook noted, readers had to turn to The Guardian to learn the truth. So this is NBC News. This story consists of 29 paragraphs. At no point in any of them does NBC relate that the shooter shouted "Free Palestine" before opening fire. So let me open that tweet and I'll open the link to the article. We're not going to go through it, but I'm just going to take his word for it that, oh, wait, no, I'm not going to take his word for it. Here's why. I'll take his word for it that when he read it, it didn't say anything, but have they updated the article? That's the question. Are they going to mention that was part of the, that was mentioned, that multiple witnesses mentioned that this dude said "Free Palestine"? And I don't see, updated at 1:45 p.m. Central Time yesterday. As I'm scrolling, I'm looking for Free Palestine. Nope, I don't see it. Nope, no mention of Free Palestine. Okay, so there you go. No mention, right? Now, not to be outdone, in This Is CNN's coverage, it takes 17 paragraphs to get to the Free Palestine. So here's, I'll just move this over here. This is CNN. Man charged in shooting. Here, let's get the middle there. Man charged in shooting at New Hampshire Country Club. 1, 2, 3. And look, you would think that what the witnesses said would be in the early paragraphs, right? Let's see. Way down here where nobody usually reads this far. Oh my gosh, it is way down here. I mean, they're describing this. Where did they finally say what he said? "Free Palestine." I mean, we had to go a long way. All right, it's in there somewhere. He said 17 paragraphs. But wait a minute, have they updated this too? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm counting like a non 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Paragraph 17. Authorities initially believed there were 2 suspects, but revised blah. Assault lasted 2 minutes. They're shooting, found in a nearby neighborhood. No attempt to flee. Can't shooting. Did they remove it? They might have. Oh goodness, they might have removed it. I don't see it in the article. And I don't know why they would remove it. That doesn't make any sense. All right. Anyway, so you get the point. They don't want to tell you that part. They don't want to tell you about that part. because motives are only important if you think it might be Trump related, right? Right? All right. Other news, the Biden disinformation czar. Remember Nina Jankowicz, the singing nut job? Remember her? Well, Green Badger Outdoors. Hello. The moral of the story, always carry. Yeah, pretty much. She's lost her lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit with Fox News. And the appeal, Nina Jankowicz, the Democratic activist who briefly served as the disinformation czar under former President Joe Biden, is soliciting donations after losing her defamation lawsuit against Fox News. Jankowicz lashed out earlier this week when a federal appeals court upheld a lower court's decision to dismiss her case. Quote, did she sing it or she say it or sing it? I am furious, she ranted hysterically on her Substack page. Wikipedia. Wikipedia. While announcing the sad news of her defeat, she urged followers to open up their wallets and donate via GoFundMe she launched to help pay for her legal fees. Well, Jankowicz, a self-described disinformation expert who supported the efforts to suppress reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop story, sued Fox News in 2023 for tarnishing her career with criticism that made her feel unsafe. Her feels. The lawsuit received a glowing write-up from the New York Times, which included a photo of Jankowicz posing defiantly in front of a government building. Jankowicz alleged that Fox News defamatory coverage forced her to resign in 2022 from the Disinformation Governance Board, the short-lived agency she briefly helmed at the Department of Homeland Security, and caused unspecified harm to her well-being that could only be fixed with a massive financial settlement. Yeah, get bent, babe. Sorry, all they did was play videos of you singing of stupid shit and talking about how much you love censorship. So again, get bent. Other news, Jimmy Kimmel is still suspended, but apparently this account, this Protect Kamala Harris account, is very excited that some singers have canceled their performance at an ABC documentary premiere because of the firing of Jimmy Kimmel. Jewel, who's a lovely young lady, but has been, well, she's not young anymore. She's 90s, 2000s. Anyway, she's canceled her appearance at this, whatever this thing was. And so has Sarah McLachlan. In the arms of an angel, far away from you. I don't care. Why? I am devastated that Jewel and Sarah McLachlan have canceled their appearances or performances in a documentary premiere. I am stunned and destroyed that, whatever. Young next to me. Yes, they are young next to me. That's why I can say they're young ladies. I'm fully aware of my age and stature as a now an elder American, I guess. I can order off the senior menu at about 30% of restaurants right now, because usually they're 55, and I can go into over 55 housing, not necessarily senior housing, and I'm very close to being able to collect early Social Security. I'm fucking up there, man. I get you. I hear you. So anyway, Jewel Hands is my favorite. I don't know what that means. Is that like what's the Avenger villain, the big villain with the jewels, the rings? Thanos, that guy. That's what you mean by Jewel Hands? That was funny to me. Oh no, Henry, I haven't done a Harry Sisson tweet in a long time. Oh, he's so excited that John Oliver called out Disney and ABC for canceling Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely. Giving the bully your lunch money doesn't make him go away. He just comes back hungry each time. He's right. They need to grow a spine. Oh, yes, they need to grow a spine. Look, I made it clear that I wasn't in favor of any government hint at pushing Jimmy Kimmel off the air, just like I don't think Barack Obama should have jailed journalists and Joe Biden had to come up with a disinformation whatever board with Nina Jankowicz as its head, and censoring and going after people going to school board meeting. I don't like any of that government involvement in people's speech and whatever. So yeah, I agree that Jimmy Kimmel probably, you know, unless, of course, you know, here's the thing though. Before that, the dude from the, what is it, FCC, before he even said anything, there were two major owners of stations, you know, whatever they call those things, affiliates. There's two affiliates, major affiliates, that said, you know what, we're not gonna play Jimmy Kimmel after this bullshit. But whatever. Some people are standing with Jimmy. Good for them. Good for them. And I don't think that you should censor people who mock politicians, even if they only mock one side of the aisle incessantly. I just think the market should tell them to fuck off. So anyway, there's another one. Disney stock has now lost over $4 billion in value since canceling Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, I'm devastated. I'm devastated. Disney is having all kinds of problems anyway. So that's why that's trending. Let's see. And then one other news item. Oh, here, the left's Jimmy Kimmel narrative just imploded. This is from September 19th. This is 3 days ago. A new report from Hollywood Reporter Thursday revealed Disney's executives knew Kimmel was planning to double down on his anti-MAGA stance during his Wednesday monologue after fielding calls from angry advertisers and multiple local networks threatening to pull the show from their airwaves. The company decided to mitigate the damage and pull Kimmel, who had clearly become a liability from the show. Okay, well that's, you know, there's a whole lot of other things involved in there. We talked about them. And I don't like the fact that the FCC chairman even mentioned this, but you know, what are we going to do now? Moving on now, let's get to the Charlie Kirk memorial from yesterday. I did not watch it. I was at a memorial for somebody else during the time of that memorial, and so I didn't watch it. But I have seen some snippets, and there's some articles and stuff, and it's trending big time right now. So I guess here we go. Let's talk about the Charlie Kirk memorial. First of all, they say 90,000 attended the memorial for assassinated conservative leader Charlie Kirk in Arizona. Over 90,000 people gathered at the State Farm Stadium. There was several thousand outside too. They say there's probably I've heard anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000 people there. I'm skeptical about 300,000, but if the stadium was full and it holds 90,000, the way they had it configured, then there's definitely 100,000 there. Easily, because there was a lot of people outside watching on screens too. Over 90,000 people gathered at State Farm Arena or Stadium for a memorial service honoring Charlie Kirk, the 32-year-old founder of Turning Point USA, who was assassinated 11 days earlier during a speaking event in Utah. Speakers included Vice President J.D. Vance, widow Erica Kirk, and President Donald Trump, who paid tribute to Kirk's conservative activism and faith, with Erica publicly forgiving the 23-year-old suspect Tyler Robinson. The event, which it drew an estimated 100 million worldwide viewers. Holy shit. Hello, TC, what's up? 100 million worldwide viewers, featured worship and calls to continue Kirk's legacy, highlighted by Trump's eulogy naming Kirk an American hero and a public reconciliation. He had a public reconciliation with Elon Musk. Oh my gosh. Oh, fantastic. Anyway, Eric Kirk was probably the most, I've seen the part where she forgave him. A lot of people are criticizing the way Turning Point did this, because Turning Point is known for its pyrotechnics at their events, and Turning Point was putting on this, and some people were saying, arriving at your husband's funeral like Cody Rhodes. Here's the clip. But this is kind of a Turning Point thing they do. So some people are finding that odd. But you know, you got 100,000 people in the stadium. What are you gonna do? in fact, here's the welcome to my husband's memorial. That's kind of the funny theme there. Anyway, there's President Trump and Erica Kirk, and there's the reconciliation, or at least Donald Trump and Elon Musk sat next to each other. By the way, I'll get back to Elon Musk in a minute, but so a lot of people, Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bowl in the tip jar says the Elon/Trump makeup may not last for long. Did you see the HB1 visa executive order Trump signed? Yes, I did. I haven't talked about that yet, have I? Hello, Midnight Next. By the way, Midnight Next House in the house. Yeah, I did. Where they're gonna temporarily change the cost of HB1 visas from $1,000 to $100,000. Whew. Now I don't know. This is one of those things where I go, does Trump have the power to do that unilaterally or not? I don't know, because there's a lot of things. I'm not a fan, man. Even though I like the intent of the executive orders that Trump does for the most part, I'm not a fan of executive orders. I've never liked them, no matter which president did them. I don't think they're the way to go. But if it's something exclusive to the executive branch, which immigration kind of is, I can kind of see it. But I guess I'm not sure if there's acts of Congress involved normally or not for the dollar amounts. You know what I mean? Anyway, coming back to that later, maybe another day. So some people are criticizing Trump because, let's go to Erica Kirk first, because let's see, this Erica Kirk one. Oh no, this is this idiot. I'll talk about him later. I can close that. Where's the Erica Kirk? Oh, good. I was doing a search here about Melissa Hortman. Fort Charlie, by the way, is trending. Amazing father and son Shah Ahmad and 10-year-old Mateo Bird traveled from Princeton, Wisconsin on Thursday at 11 a.m. to be the first in line for the Charlie Kirk Memorial. That's kind of wild. Fort Charlie, there's a picture of Elon and Trump breaking breads figuratively. Here's the version of the stadium. This person says, let me say this as a Jew. America would be a much better country if more Christians went to church. Charlie Kirk's vigil, acting as a rally for Jesus, is a net positive for society. This crowd is God-fearing, neighbor-loving, and patriotic Americans. Well, thank you, Shabbos Kesterbaum. Kaizen Diaz Sidu, he's is this the guy that's the prominent he's a prominent Twitter and YouTuber guy, or X, whatever, saying this is our turning point. The solution is not to retaliate, it's for more people to say the truth more often with more courage. Charlie Kirk lives through millions. There are a lot of people criticizing this event as well, of course. That comes with the territory, especially with politics. Trump said Charlie did not. This is one of the controversial statements from Trump, who said Charlie did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagree with Charlie. I hate my opponents. I don't want the best for him. I can't stand my opponents. This is and it's a big contrast because Erica Kirk forgave that shooter guy. So we'll just play a few clips that people are posting here. Here's one of them. This is from Trump.
Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Now, there may be a different dynamic with Trump, obviously. First of all, he seemed to be saying that in a tongue-in-cheek way, but of course, no one's, if you are quoting him in a magazine with those words, obviously that's going to be very, very, that's going to be the big headline of the day. Not about the People Memorial Charlie, but that Donald Trump hates his opponents. At least he's honest about it. True. But he even just said, maybe Eric could convince me to be more loving. That wasn't as a quote, but you know what I'm saying. But again, his opponents have tried to destroy him in multiple ways. So I guess I can understand. Good morning, Unacceptable Views. Welcome to the show, my other favorite Canadian. So, there's obviously that dynamic where his opponents have all tried to completely destroy him. But let's move on to Erica Kirk, because her words were probably the most heartwarming of the show, plus the production, whatever it was. And so we're going to listen to about 3 minutes of Erica Kirk speaking. And I think her words are pretty amazing. This is the only thing that I've actually seen from this is, and I don't know if this is the full clip, but this is probably the most important clip of it. So we'll watch this part of it.
Charlie passionately wanted to reach and save the lost boys of the West. The young men who feel like they have no direction, no purpose, no faith, and no reason to live. The men wasting their lives on distractions, and the men consumed with resentment, anger, and hate. Charlie wanted to help them. He wanted them to have a home with Turning Point USA. And when he went onto campus, he was looking to show them a better path and a better life that was right there for the taking. He wanted to show them that. My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life. That young man, on the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
Okay, so that's the part that most people are talking about. Some people saying, if you watch this one thing today, let it be this: the truly remarkable display of grace and compassion from Mrs. Erica Kirk as she gives her husband's assassin, because that's what Christ would do. A lot of other speakers were at this rally, and it was almost, what my understanding is, almost a bit of a revival. The full eulogy I will post as a separate link, which will be, I'm not, because I don't want to go through it now. If I were not at a different event yesterday, I might have streamed during this, but you can find it online. Sorry, that has me a little bit choked up, that would have to be one of the hardest things to do. But people are criticizing it. This person, a total psychological operation, trauma-based mind control. For the people who there, and look, there's a ton of criticism out there about having this. It looks like a revival. It looks like a political rally. It looks like this. It looks like that. There's psychological mind games. It's whatever this and that, right? I gotta tell you, and the subtitle of my show today should give you what my thoughts on that particular criticism of this is. This is the Rahm Emanuel playbook. If you don't like it, talk to Rahm Emanuel. And I don't say, look, I think they genuinely, there's a lot of people who knew Charlie who loved him, right? Because the people are criticizing that, a bunch of Trump's cabinets there. Like they did I didn't see the Trump cabinet at any of the memorials for the school shootings. Most of Trump's cabinet knew Charlie Kirk personally. Most of the people there knew Charlie Kirk personally. Donald Trump knew Charlie Kirk personally. J.D. Vance knew Charlie Kirk personally. Elon Musk knew Charlie Kirk personally. Linda McMahon knew Charlie Kirk personally. He knew all these people. He'd been and talked with these people. So that's why they're there. And people who sought a way to get there to that memorial have been touched by Charlie Kirk in some way or another through all the online stuff. People knew who he was. The criticism that nobody was, well, here, let me go back to what I got into an argument with someone about. And that would be, where is this moron? I'm going to find it. Oh, did I must have closed the windows. So this guy, one guy in particular on X, who's talking about how I choose to memorialize Melissa Hortman today. How many of you knew who Melissa Hortman was prior to her being killed in Minnesota? In fact, how many of you even knew her name 30 days later? So almost 100 days ago, Melissa Hortman, the state speaker of the House at the state of Minnesota, was also shot and killed. Okay. None of you knew her name because nobody knew her name. Nobody outside of Minnesota really knew her name. Maybe a few political junkies here and there, but mostly nobody outside of Minnesota knew her name. And when that happened, everyone made statements about it. Donald Trump made a statement about it. Congress and both the House and the Senate passed resolutions condemning the political violence. And Minnesota, we had all our flags at half-staff for quite a while because of that happening. I mean, that was 3.5 months ago. Well, what's interesting is suddenly there's a bunch of people out there who are bringing up Melissa Hortman's name and saying, I choose to memorialize Melissa Hortman today. Now, what's funny about that is the one guy that I mentioned today, I did one of those Twitter feed searches. Yesterday was the first time he had ever mentioned her name. People are using other people's death in a very cynical manner to take a shit on Charlie Kirk and his death. People who did not know who Melissa Hortman was 3 months ago and didn't remember her name until Charlie Kirk got shot because they had to look it up. Oh, they had to look it up to find out what her name was. They just know that Minnesota state representative. And so they look up her name and put her picture. In fact, by the way, the guy that I had a little Twitter spat with yesterday had a memorial for a picture, of one of those photo remembrance of Melissa Hortman, of her picture, except the woman in the picture wasn't even her. It was a different person in the picture. It wasn't her. It was a fake picture of Melissa Hortman. And so you didn't even know her name. You never mentioned her once in the last 90 days since she's been dead. And now suddenly on the day of Charlie Kirk's memorial, I choose to Melissa Hortman today. using someone's dead body to make your little political point. That's what you're doing. Versus people who knew Charlie Kirk or knew of Charlie Kirk. Everyone who talks about Charlie Kirk knew of him, good and bad. They all knew who he was. So the idea there might be hundreds of thousands of people who would attend a memorial, or cabinet members who knew Charlie Kirk personally, who might attend a memorial to Charlie Kirk, but may not have gone to Melissa Hortman's memorial, a state representative, not a nationally known figure. There's some logic to it. If you knew the man, you might go to his memorial. But people are complaining that, oh, Trump's cabinet was there. Well, not all of it, because I know I didn't see, what's the former governor of Minnesota? Or not, governor of North Dakota. He wasn't there. So anyway, but anyway, I think it's more important that as we go through this, people cared about Charlie Kirk. Okay, it's okay. A lot of people followed Charlie Kirk. Now someone here says, if Erica Kirk can forgive a man who killed her husband, which is not easy, then the rest of that stadium can find the grace to forgive the more than half the country who had nothing to do with this murder, being continuously blamed by the rest of the speakers at this event. Yeah, I think I haven't watched the whole thing, but a lot of them were blaming the left. Fair. I think that's a fair point. It is a fair point. But then you get bullshit like this. If Erica Kirk is going to take over her husband's work to promote racism and anti-Semitism and misogyny, what? Listen to this again. I just had to stop because of that little music bomb there. If Erica Kirk is going to take over her husband's work to promote racism, anti-Semitism, and misogyny, then she is fair game for criticism. She does not get to use the cover of a grieving widow to become a fascist wannabe so she can continue to fundraise and promote hate. It's interesting too, because I hear the words, he was an unapologetic racist and misogynist and blah, 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 blah. When you say someone's an unapologetic something, wouldn't that be someone who applauds racism or applauds misogyny or applauds it and like says it out loud, versus someone who may not agree with the solutions but that you have, but have the same goal of everyone being treated fairly? Isn't that there's a difference, right? And how do you say her husband to promote racism, anti-Semitism, and misogyny? What do you mean promote it? It's amazing the words some of these people use who've never actually listened to an argument from Charlie Kirk. And look, I'm gonna remind you, because you know this. I said a long time ago, I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk. But now that I'm going through and listening to the quotes that people put up to trash him, and then I go and scroll through the whatever where they posted, I scroll down and find the full context of what he said, realizing that quote that they quoted is basically lying through editing. Deceptive editing. Remember, they always bitch about deceptive editing, and yet they deceptively edit this. I'm gonna start. I have a name for it now. I came up with a name for that thing that they're doing to Charlie Kirk, and I'm calling it fine peopling somebody, where they're out there fine peopling Charlie Kirk, because are very fine peopling. They're very fine peopling Charlie Kirk, taking a clip of a quote without what came before it and after it, but alone, when you cut it out, sounds really shitty. The fine peopling of Charlie Kirk. That's what they're doing. I might have to trademark that. Please stop fine peopling Charlie Kirk. Real quick. Thank you, Ty Alexander, dropping a $2.30 in the tip jar. Who says, Ty Alexander says, I raise the dead as a vocation. I have a callous view of using the bodies of the dead for my own designs. But I find this disgusting. Using the dead as a political tool to pull a whataboutism is fucking disgusting. It absolutely is. They keep bringing up her name in a cynical way to shit on Charlie Kirk when they didn't say shit about her 3 months ago when she was dead. And when everybody else did. Thank you, Ty Alexander. Also, Avocados Diablo, another small bullet, who says, speaking of shitty Minnesota politicians, I saw your governor yapping his nonsense during the Farm Aid concert over the weekend. Yeah, I could not hear that because that was we were watching football and that was on another screen. I never got to hear what he said. I wish I got to hear it. So yeah, I got to go back and see what the governor said during Farm Aid. I didn't hear any of it. So thank you, Avocados Diablo. Okay, other things trending because of the memorial. Okay, this is the full eulogy. I put a link in that. Jesus came up a lot. Jesus came up a lot. Which, of course, people are going to say shitty things about what they said about Jesus. Someone says, I don't care who mocks me. I say it boldly. I'd rather stand with God and be rejected by the world than stand with the world and be rejected by God. Amen. But John Pavlitz, who's anti-anyone conservative, anti-Trump, anti-Republican, anti-conservative, hates... This guy is filled with as much hate as he claims everyone else has. Let's put it that way. He says, the white conservative church in America has slowly eradicated the compassionate, peacemaking power opposing hypocrisy confronting Jesus from its movement. Has it, though? This is why it shouldn't surprise us that we're seeing this Jesus-less church of white American exceptionalism falling all over itself to anoint as sacred a man whose words and platform have completely bereft of the teaching of Jesus. Well, you must not listen to him very much then. I didn't listen to Charlie Kirk much at all before this. I saw the clips on the internet of him arguing with college students, and I saw some people trying to claim that clips that people supposedly thinking the college students won or whatever. I've seen all kinds of clips, but I never listened to full forums that often, other than the Oxford debate, which I thought he was brilliant. But you haven't, John. You see what other people post as clips. You've never taken the time to listen to a full context of anything he said, because I can tell because you're not listening because of what you just wrote here. This is why it shouldn't be surprised we're seeing Jesus-less church of white American exceptionalism. White American exceptionalism? Okay, you don't know what the term exceptionalism means, but whatever. Falling all over itself to anoint as sacred a man whose words and platform are completely bereft of teaching of Jesus, and worse, that flew stridently, condescendingly into the face of them. Well, you haven't listened to him then. Then you haven't listened to anything in full he said. You don't give him credit for anything he's ever said, if that's the way you see it. They're putting kids in I Am Charlie Kirk t-shirts and waging phony culture wars. Phony culture wars? Really? What's phony about them? They always bitch about the culture wars from the right. Do they ever bitch about the culture wars from the left and some of the bullshit that the left pushes? Because it's easier to do that than to actually read the Sermon on the Mount with them and admit that love, empathy, generosity, and hospitality of Jesus, things Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump fully reject, is the difficult path their faith tradition actually calls them to do. You make some weird assumptions there, John. You make some weird assumptions. But anyway, lots of people talking about Jesus. These are the same people who mocked Colin Kaepernick for kneeling, but think dragging a giant cross into a stadium is normal. If Jesus came back, MAGA would boo him off the stage for not pledging allegiance to Trump. Nah, I don't think so. But there's a lot of people bitching. This is someone from England. My dear American friends, we British Christians would get excited when once a year Queen Elizabeth would make a mild but sincere reference to the love of Jesus in her Christmas address. In Charlie Kirk's memorial service, we watched by tens of millions. I just heard, quote, multiple clear presentations of the gospel from men like Rob McCoyas and Dr. Frank Turek, with clear calls to repentance and faith. Worship songs full of scripture sung by tens of thousands live and millions at home. Personal testimonies of lives transformed by the work of Christ and the witness of believers. Demonstration and exploration of values of marriage, child rearing, and family. Calls to Romans 13 for the government to bear the sword for the protection of good and punishment of the wicked. Declarations of spiritual warfare on the forces of evil and promises to endure no matter the cost. Calls to be prophets and call the nation to repent. More scripture references and Bible readings than I can count. And a widow publicly forgiving her husband's killer because Christ forgave his killers on the cross. All of it done before and by the most powerful people in your nation and world. You guys should be on your knees thanking God for your country. It is a light to the world. Never stop fighting for it. Look, whether you have any religion at all, or if you're a Christian or if you're of another faith, I think it's safe to say that the positivity of that message that was going through that memorial, from what I'm reading, I haven't watched the whole thing. I've watched clips and Erica Kirk, but anyone who's saying this is a bad thing, I don't understand you at all. I can't understand you. Someone here, I remain Jesus curious, so this is not a believer necessarily, but I want to be real for a minute and say some things. I was shocked by the music before it began. It was so beautiful. I didn't know that people looked like that when they sang along, like so connected to something. I cried a lot during the music and don't know why. I knew that Charlie was a Christian, but didn't know that he did all of this for Jesus. I knew he loved Jesus, but I thought more about his drive for social change and real leaders. I didn't know that he literally did it all for Jesus. If Benny Johnson was a pastor, I would go to that church every week. I didn't see any of this, so I don't know what she's talking about. I realize a big thing I'm afraid of with it is having to change. I would have to change. What Eric Kirk said about the answer is love and always love, I'd have to change. I don't know, but I do know that I came to X to complain about the USDA, and now I'm writing about feelings about Jesus on the internet. I've met so many amazing people here who believe in Jesus, and I never expected that. This was long. Okay, I don't know what that means, but now some people are criticizing, again, Erica, forgive your enemies. Donald Trump saying he hates his enemies, but even said, I need to get some guidance from Erica on that. So, whatever. It's fascinating that Jesus came up so much, but Charlie Kirk was very religious. Elon Musk is trending just because of the get back with Donald Trump sitting next to each other at the memorial. Wow, Elon is happy to shake hands and be chummy with the guy who he said was in the Epstein files. Oh, that's that Alex Cole dude. Yeah, they're very still focused on the Epstein files, and I agree they should release them, but we're gonna see what happens to that. I want perp walks. I don't give a fuck if they release the files. I want perp walks. That's what I want to see. Forgiveness is trending because obviously Erica Kirk publicly forgiving that dude who may have shot her. By the way, I have a lot of questions about. I don't intend to put this as scare quotes, but I'm still gonna do it. The shooter. There's a lot of weird stuff with this whole thing, and a lot of it is internet telephone game where one person says something, one person says another thing, and then all of a sudden there's a complete conspiracy. So be careful with the internet telephone game with this, and I try to understand the real reports, but when I read the so-called text messages that were supposedly sent between the dude and his furry, transgender, whatever, special partner, I go, oh, those are fake as fuck, but almost like they're doing a case in the court of public opinion. But I'm not ready to spend time on the conspiracy theories on that yet, but there's some really weird stuff that's in it. Just saying. You probably already know that. That's all I'm going to say about that for the moment, but we'll get back to it. And apparently some high IQ claimant in Korea pledges global churches for slain activist Charlie Kirk. Now, I don't know. This is a guy who claims to have the highest IQ in the world. I don't know what that means. I mean, if it's real or not. But anyway, Dr. Young-Hoon Kim, a South Korean cognitive scientist claiming the world's highest IQ score of 276, announced on September 21st he plans to establish churches worldwide to honor conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated in September 11th, 2025, September 10th, in Phoenix. Kim, who joined Turning Point USA shortly after Kirk's death and professed his Christian faith earlier in the year, delivered the pledge in a video from South Korea, linking it to Kirk's promotion of evangelical values amid a perceived spiritual crisis. The initiative has garnered support from evangelicals and continuation of Kirk's legacy through skeptics, though skeptics question the validity of Kim's IQ claim and the project's feasibility. So anyway, I got to tell you, there have been what? I think it's up to like 54,000 requests, volunteer requests, and for opening Turning Point US. What is it? Turning Point USA? Whatever it's called. Turning Point chapters, Turning Point USA chapters in the United States alone. And apparently millions of people around the world watched this memorial live. Now it's up to 60,000. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. They got a movement. Now it's going to be interesting to see what I'm interested in seeing. You know, it's a little far away from the midterm. Let's talk about politicizing this. A little far away from the midterm elections, but how is that going to affect the midterm elections? I'm sure the people at CNN and MSNBC and ABC, NBC, CBS, all those stations, I'm sure that all those news anchors are really concerned because they've awakened a giant force here somehow. Avocados Dalby, thank you. Another 223 in the bullet in the tip jar, who says strategically we should despise all of our enemies, while tactically we should take them all seriously. The left should be happy Trump is taking Chairman Mao's advice. Ooh. Oh, that's spicy. That's spicy. Okay, and then finally in the trending topics, last one was this is people bitching about this Brian Allen dude. Yeah, this is this guy again. He says reports now claim that over 300,000 gathered in Arizona to honor Charlie Kirk. What began as a memorial has morphed into a massive political rally, chants, speeches, and coordinated media. But let's be clear. There's still no confirmed motive and no proven political ties to the shooter. The facts aren't all in yet the narrative is already being cemented. Here's the deal that I'm going to say about that, and I think I wrote something about this earlier today. This is me. This is it. I didn't realize I had this open still. So this is the anti-Kirk narrative of the day, or talking point of the day, that the motive of the shooter is still not yet fully known. And there's people are reporting, which with no attribution, that he wasn't associated with any specific political groups. Like that even matters. Does it matter that if he was associated with a specific political group? They're saying independent investigators say there are no ties to any political groups. That doesn't change what's in his head. And a lot of these paid influencers on the left are repeating this now, right? And that is interesting. Yeah. The authorities say that he has no ties to any specific political groups. Okay, whatever. Does it mean he doesn't have political opinions? Does it mean he isn't part of Antifa? Because I thought Antifa wasn't an organized political group anyway. But whatever. It's interesting, but it doesn't change the fact that most of the left's reaction to this event has been shit. It's like they say, well, it shouldn't have happened, but here are the reasons I'm glad he's gone. Here are the reasons I am glad he's dead. Here's the reasons why he was a shitty person. He should have never been taken out this way, but he was a shitty person, blah, blah, blah. So you're saying he shouldn't have died this way, but here's a reason why I don't give a shit that he's dead. Right? That's what they're saying. So these people have showed their ass. They strongly endorse the silencing of Charlie Kirk while very meekly disavowing the method. And so the Rahm Emanuel strategy is in effect. It's in full effect. Don't let a tragedy go to waste. Aren't they doing the Rahm Emanuel strategy that Rahm Emanuel very proudly said at one time in front of to the public? Don't let a tragedy go to waste. Well, if you think this is morphed into a political rally, you should recognize what this is. It's the Rahm Emanuel effect. The Rahm Emanuel endorsed strategy for something like this. It's not like they didn't do it for George Floyd, and George Floyd, may he rest in peace, wasn't a good person. But they'll never tell you, they'll never say that. They'll never say that George Floyd wasn't a good person. You guys lionized George Floyd. You've got a golden casket and statues for George Floyd. You have murals and paintings all over the country for George Floyd. You burned down buildings for George Floyd. You killed people for George Floyd, who died tragically. But do we really want to get into a conversation about what kind of a person George Floyd was? No, you don't. And look, the right's hypocrisy a little bit on that too. You know, the memes, all that shit for George Floyd. But god damn, you're celebrating a career criminal who died in an unacceptable way. Fentanyl. You got your pound of flesh out of Derek Chauvin for that. All right. I was going to try to get some headlines today, but most of them are related to Charlie Kirk anyway. Thank you, Avocado Sadly. Another small bullet in the tip jar says, the only response to someone who says it's good that someone I disagree with got shot and killed for saying things that offended people is, thanks for the tip. I'll remember that when someone decides to do the same to you. Oh, yeah. True. All right. Here's some of the articles I have open, but I didn't get to. Charlie Kirk's legacy of grace triumphs over hate as brave is what America needs most by Miranda Devine at the New York Post editorial, talking a lot about what Erica Kirk said about her husband and just some of the other speakers at the event. In the Breitbart, Trump says Charlie Kirk lives forever in the pantheon of America's greatest patriots, which obviously many people are going to disagree with, but that's Donald Trump's opinion, and he's sticking to it. And a lot of people, again, are mad because he said he hates his enemies, and maybe he needs some guidance from Erica Kirk on that. PJ Media, do we just see the largest single conversion to God in human history? I don't know about that. Hello, Big Dave, by the way. I don't know about that, but I'm sure all these people who've watched, they said there's probably 100 million viewers around the world who watched this and saw and particularly the, I doubt it too, Avocado Diabli, but I'm sure that you see a lot of people converting in their thoughts of maybe not God, but just their humanity for people who were saying goodbye to their friend. I think they saw that. So whether people are turning to God, who knows? Actually, yes, right. There were more baptisms from this than ever before. Have there? I don't know. If that's true, then that's fantastic. I don't always necessarily think that people have to have faith to be good people, but I think faith brings out the good in people. Does that make sense? I hope so. I should put that on a t-shirt. In American Thinker, our left is turning this shirt Kirk Killer wore into a bloodthirsty secret handshake. This is interesting, and I'll show you a couple clips. But so remember this picture of they have this picture of the killer wearing this particular T-shirt. Well, if you want to see something kind of gross, now this is a hot selling T-shirt. Hello, Chicago Mike. What's up? This is a hot selling T-shirt on the internet because it's being marketed as Disabled Veteran National Foundation American Flag Eagle shooter Charlie Kirk wear. They're wearing it in tribute to this asshole, or they're marketing it in tribute to this asshole. Here's another one. Charlie Kirk shooter American flag T-shirt with eagle long sleeve shirt Disabled Veterans March. Charlie Kirk shooter shirt. Here's another one. Tyler Robinson shirt, Tyler Robinson Trump shirt, Land of the Free Eagle American flag shirt. They're marketing it as what the shooter wore. Lead line here. Normally when I see a person wearing a T-shirt with an American flag and an eagle, I think Patriot and probably MAGA. Now though, I'm having doubts. Instead, I think we're going to discover that a lot of venomously anti-MAGA people will be parading around in black T-shirts with flags and eagles on them as homage to Charlie Kirk's murderer, who wore that shirt when he pulled the trigger. We are all painfully familiar now with the image showing Kirk's killer right before the shooting. According to reports, when that image first hit the news, the T-shirt appeared to be a shirt from the Disabled Veterans National Foundation. It shows an eagle in flight in front of an American flag with the words Land of the Free above the image and Home of the Brave below it. It's a classic Patriot shirt. The same shirt instantly began being marketed as Charlie Kirk's shooter's shirt. And there's the three examples I gave you. Walmart, which does not always police its online marketing as well as it should, turned out to be selling the same T-shirt, which could be searched by looking up Kirk's shooter. Walmart, to its credit, quickly reacted, and the search now yields nothing at all. Sick motherfuckers. Daily Caller, Jasmine Crockett compares Charlie Kirk to Confederate relics on CNN. Yeah, you got to watch that interview. I don't have time. And also, Jasmine Crockett said, it hurts my heart that only 2 Caucasians voted against that Kirk resolution in the House. Out of 53 members, only 2 white people did. So she's upset about that too. That's the same interview. Both are in the Daily Caller links in there. And then Ilhan Omar doubled down on her nasty Charlie Kirk comments, saying his legacy belongs in the dustbin of history. And I think she needs to, again, you know me, I'm not a fan of people say, you need to go, if you don't like the country, you can get the fuck out. But she's already said she wants to go back to Somalia. She wishes she was back in Somalia. Frankly, I hope she gets her wish. I'm not a fan of her. And look, a lot of the Somalians I know from the Twin Cities here, man, some nice as fuck people. But she's a shitbag. All right. And then PJ Media. Oh, there's something about Tom Homan. They're saying that the FBI had some footage of him accepting bribes and whatever. And then they found out there's really no there. But people are talking about that. Well, he also went on Bill Maher's show. There's a clip in this in this article here of him getting applause from Bill Maher's audience. So that's interesting. And then the palate cleanser, damn it, I'm going to have to come back to it. But I will have this in the links again because I went way over time today. So the aggregator is also in the links today. Let's get rid of this stuff and I'll drop these in the good old Chatorama. Let's see, that's good. Thanks to all the people who share the show. Thanks for the donors today. You are awesome. And thanks to people in the chat who tolerate my time here. And also, if you haven't hit the like button yet, this is your last chance. Well, you can hit it after if you watch a replay too, but you know what I'm saying? Hit it now. Come on. What's wrong with you? Anyway, here, 3, 2, 1 are today's links. If I can type fast enough. No, I can't. Damn it. I have, by the way, I have typing dyslexia, so sometimes it's just going to look weird. It'll look like a garbled mess. So that's it. Thanks, everybody, for joining me on the Morning Night Live. We'll be back tomorrow. with the daily news and the daily trending topics and whatever else happens. If anything happens, we'll talk about it. You all have a great day. Gotta go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.